Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Underhood Show, presented by Mel Hambelton. My name is Phil Nightingale. I'm the general manager, and Josh Prover, service director. Good morning, Josh.
Good morning.
Beautiful Saturday out there, isn't it?
Yes, it is. Cannot believe that it is July.
It is, isn't it?
It's crazy.
Absolutely year is half gone. I don't know where this first half of the year went or whatever either, but it is what it is. So, but anyway, hey, it's a call-in show. Love to hear from you. 316-462-3673. Anything ailing your car, tires, brakes, batteries, whatever it might be. Love to hear what's going on out there in the old lovely world, what you got, questions or whatever. You want to talk about anything in the racing world, you want to talk about anything in the automobile world, new products, service, whatever it might be. Want to hear from you. 316-462-3673. That's the number that comes into the front desk in here at the dealership. And tell the gals that answer the phone you'd like to get patched in the podcast. And for each and every caller that calls on the phone, you get a great price package, about over $130. And as always, Josh, what's in that package?
So we're going to mail it out to you, but it's going to consist of the works, which is an oil change and tire rotation. We're going to use Motorcraft oil and filter products while we have your vehicle. While we're performing that, we're also going to check over the steering, suspension, all the safety-related components on the vehicle, just making sure that it's ready to go for that next 5,000 miles of driving while we're doing that multi-point inspection. You'll also receive yourself $10 to Mel's Diner, so you can get yourself something to eat and drink while you're here with us at the Big Corner. Complete nitrogen for your tires, so you get all the great benefits that nitrogen has to offer. And then a BG products package, which consists of a can of MOA or motor oil additive for your engine oil, and then CF5 for your fuel system. Again, just getting that vehicle geared up and ready to go for that next 5,000 miles of driving.
All right, 316-462-3673. Love to hear from you. Anything ailing your car, tires, brakes, batteries, whatever it might be. But anyway, Josh, I see on my other screen over here you got some interesting pictures coming up. So
yeah, we got a couple of different things going. This I'm not exactly sure. I think this was last week or the week before. Had a couple of different vehicles come in, and so I've got two examples of vehicles that we got scheduled in or brought in just for recalls. That's all that they wanted completed, and just the condition of these vehicles. It's just scary what's driving out there on the road. You know, we talked, this has been, probably about a month or so ago. I don't know if you remember, but we had the truck with the brakes. And, you know, we talked a little bit about state inspections and, you know, should there be a state inspection or not? And, you know, I think there's a lot of different ways that people could look at that, but also at the end of the day, just like every other system or rule, if something's in place, people cheat it, you know? Yeah. And so to actually have it, I don't know is that it's going to do a whole lot one way or the other, you know?
Well, and let's talk about some of these inspections and stuff too, Josh. Is you're just inspecting your car, like the multi-point inspection and everything else too. It's like yesterday, I'm headed to Salina in the race rig, and I'm running 75. That's the speed limit. I'm running 75 mile an hour, and here come this car. And I mean, it had to be doing 90.
Uh-huh.
And bumpers are flapping off of it. You could not one tire wasn't shaking, doing something. And as they passed me, I could watch the hands on the steering wheel just shaking like, you know what? And I'm thinking, are you really driving that fast in that POS?
Yeah.
But that's on the road. But here's the problem is it's going to crash somebody and hurt somebody else.
Well, that's
not just themselves.
Yeah. At some point you have a responsibility as a motorist to make sure that everybody else that you drive with, you know, on the roadways are safe as well.
Yeah.
And it's one thing to take that into your own hands, but when you're starting to deter the safety of everybody else, then, you know, that's a problem. And then, you know, in the couple of examples that I have here, or I guess the one example I have here is, you know, really you years ago, I think it was more prevalent than probably now, but a lot of people would change their own oil or service their own vehicle. And, you know, there's more to just the basic routine maintenance other than changing oil, you know, rotating the tires. You've got to check over these wear items on these vehicles. And if you don't get them on a lift or know the proper way to do it, you may not even be knowing that you're doing something wrong, or be able to avoid a breakdown, or potentially even, you know, a suspension component that comes loose and could potentially hurt somebody, not only the person driving the vehicle, but other occupants as well. And so that's why that multi-point inspection over somebody that's qualified makes all the difference in the world.
Yeah. Okay. So what are these pictures you got over here, Josh?
So the very first one is an actual video. And so this came to us, and this was just a recall. So I think if you go down now over to this screen in the bottom corner down there, and you can make it the all four corners. One more over there. You go. Click that deal. So this came to us as a recall, and the recall was actually for a uh, brake switch. So we didn't even, there was no real reason for us to raise the vehicle or anything other than to complete the multi-point inspection once it got here. But you can actually just play that video.
Well, I think I'm going to play it.
Uh,
Let's play that again.
and that's how that vehicle came in.
Driving down the road.
It drove into the service center for a recall. That part is a wheel bearing, but then the lower control arm bolt, like, wasn't held in by a nut
Nut
or
or nothing.
anything.
And you can see
the bolts, the bushings.
bushings are all gone right here. And then this one here is not any better from that part. Yeah, nut completely missing. How can we, what I need to do is start this.
And then pause it. You just hit it back in the same spot.
Look at that. That is crazy. And that's what's driving down our road. And as you can see right there, that nut is completely missing right there.
Yeah.
Not even there. And you don't, I mean, and we start talking about taking care of your cars and taking care of, but if that does come off, guess what?
You have no control. Like, the one wheel is gonna go one way, the other wheel is gonna go the other, and
Mhm.
you will lose complete
Who knows where that car is
yeah,
going to go?
there's no telling what direction that car will go at 70, 80 mile an hour. Going down the road is absolutely crazy.
Yeah, that's just that car, like I told you, the car that passed me doing about 90. That is crazy that that's driving down the road today from that part. So anyway, we could probably have a long discussion on everything about that and what's going on there from that part. Man,
So
just think
then,
about that has to drive like down the road. They surely, I mean, who knows? Well, they came in for a brake switch recall.
yeah, that's what the vehicle was here
What
for.
kind of car is that?
So it is a I want to say like a Crown Vic.
Hmm.
So it's an older car. I think it was a 2003 or 5 or something
But
like
irregardless of
that.
the age of the
Yeah.
car, it's still that is crazy.
Yeah,
Crazy,
and
crazy,
then
crazy.
so you can close that deal out.
Yep.
We can bring that back up again later, but I think if you go down to the bottom corner there, and yeah, there you go. And then now up at the top, the next tab
This
over.
one.
Hmm. So this is
Let me get this up here for a minute.
yeah, and then you can make those pictures go the whole screen over there too.
Well,
Probably.
they pretty much are.
Yeah, that's fine too if you just want to leave it
So
like
what you're
that.
looking at here is the rusted frame out on this
Yeah.
car. Look at that frame. It's completely almost rusted in two from here to there. And what do we got here, Josh? What kind
So this is an F-150, and again, it came in for a recall, straight up recall. But what you're looking at on the bottom portion of the screen is the frame rail. There's, I think, 4 pictures of the frame on each side, and this, safety wise, for maybe to hurt other passengers or uh, whatever. I'm not exactly sure. I think, structurally the truck would stay intact for itself. But my thing with this is, in a collision, the frame is a huge part of the
Well, it looks like
structural
down
integrity.
through here too that there's something.
Yeah, so that's your pinch weld
Look over here. It's gone over here.
Yeah, it's
Maybe this
so
side.
the bottom half of the like fender or quarter was completely rusted out, but the frame being, you know, a major structural part of the integrity of the vehicle, and then if you look through those pictures, like there is
That thing's
yeah, there's really nothing to keep the truck from almost kind of collapsing in on itself in the middle just with the weight of it.
it's not far
Yeah,
from that. That's for
it
sure.
is not structurally sound for sure. Um, yeah, so there you can see kind of that's the
Yeah,
from
this
the
piece here,
bottom
all
looking
this is
up.
completely gone.
That's your rocker panel, and then you
Yeah.
got the door fender as well.
And look, this side of the frame over here is just as bad.
And you know, this truck needed some mechanical repair as well. But it's one of those things like you really shouldn't be investing money in this thing just because the frame is unsafe.
And I'm looking right there too. I'm thinking that the body bolt's not even got a nut on it.
That is correct. Yeah.
That nut is completely missing right there.
Yeah.
And that's what's holding the
That's
body
what's
onto the
holding the
frame.
body onto the frame.
Yeah. Yeah, and this is driving down the road. God forbid it gets close to me.
And so that one came in for a recall as well, but then also had a concern in no AC.
Worried about the AC,
Yeah.
huh?
And so, you know, a couple of different things with that is obviously one, just safety of the vehicle, but then two, I think order of priorities. And so again, kind of going back and talking about the multi-point and having somebody that is qualified, knows what they're looking for, what to recommend, but then also help a consumer be able to um, go through and prioritize, you know, service needs, because you may
Yeah.
there may be several things that pop up that you're unaware of or don't know, but what's the importance of it,
Yep.
and are you getting that expressed to you in the right manner? And I think that's where our industry has a little bit of a black eye, or some of its black eye is for people selling stuff that maybe they don't need, for one, but then also people uh, trying to maybe over convey the importance of some things, you know?
Yeah. Anyway, we'll get here real quick. Nick Roberts is going to call in. We were on our team went on a race week all over the country racing our yellow Mustang and stuff too. So Nick's going to get us updated on that. But real quick, Rick Curry's got a question of is there an easy way of finding out how to fix my pre-collision assist? It's blocked on my 2020 Ford Edge. Where's the camera located at? But basically, and then Mike Sheridan, one of our text managers down at Quick Lane, says, Rick, the camera is located in the windshield. There's a radar typically behind the front of the license plate. Make sure the windshield's free of bugs. Everything is clean, and it still shows up on the screen. So, Josh, I don't know. Is there any? I'm with Mike. There's something blocking the camera. It can't see it, and
Yeah.
that's what happens to me with those situations. Is a damn bug got on that sensor on that camera or whatever and blocked it.
We have, we have seen that multiple times. For one, the other thing that maybe a consumer might not be aware of is like getting a rock chip, and then it actually happens to hit in the right spot, and then that becomes an issue in the camera view as well. And so, just making sure that is clean and clear and got a good view.
And it could still be a failure of some sort too, Rick, on that side of the point too.
But that's step one in kind of the diagnosis.
And usually I see it with bugs, and then also see it in the wintertime, like ice or whatever build up on the front of your car or whatever, too, will block those cameras or whatever. They can't see it. But Rick, we ought to get you a call after the show and get you in here and take a look at the Edge. If you've got everything super clean, and I know you do, I know how you take care of your stuff, Rick, from that part. And okay, so then Mike asks another question. Do you by chance get a new windshield? Because that's the next thing is if you put a windshield in today, you can't just replace windshields without going in and actually recalibrating and realigning everything up so everything syncs up and does what it needs to do from that part. But we'll see if Rick replies here in a minute and everything else too. We'll see if we can get some more information out of Rick, or maybe we just need to call Rick after.
If you want to
Rick,
call in,
no on the windshield. So Rick, you might have a failure there too, but I know you take good care of your stuff and everything's super clean and everything else too from that standpoint. But that's usually what happens when the cameras are messed up from that part. But we'll call you after the show, Rick, and maybe we need to get it over here and see if you do have a failure of that camera or something like that too. So anyway, let's go to the phones. We're going to talk to Nick Roberts. Nick, morning.
Hey, good morning, guys.
Hey, sorry to keep you on hold. We had to answer that question for Rick and everything else too. And he says, let me take the last plate off. Yeah, take that plate off and see what that does too, Rick. That might be I don't think taking the plate off is going to do anything for you on that part. So anyway, Nick, you guys took off last Saturday, right?
Correct.
Yeah, last Saturday, and it's called Race Week.
Yep, Rocky Mountain Race Week.
Rocky Mountain Race Week. So tell her it's a. You just got back last night. Of course, you got rained out, and imagine that, it got rained out. But you went on a tour. So kind of just tell everybody what the deal is, what we did with that, how we did it, and everything else, because it was. It looks like you guys had a great week.
Oh yeah. So we took the yellow Mel Hambelton drag car. We also took a van and a trailer with parts and fuel to help everybody along the way. And Rocky Mountain Race Week this year started in Kearney, Nebraska, and you had to start there and make, depending on what type of class you're in, whether you're in a heads-up class or an index dial-in class, you would make your pass.
How many classes were there?
I think there was like 10 or 11.
10 or 11 different classes.
There was over 300 cars. Yeah, there was over 300 cars competing in the race, and then 100 cars that were competing in the what they call just the road week, where they got to drive their race car along, but didn't get to race in the actual race.
So basically, you have to drive the car. You can't put it on a trailer and go to all these different events.
Yeah, everything that you have to keep that car and yourself alive for the week has to be in that car. So if you got spare tires, if you got a car that isn't going to make it between those long fuel stops, you have to carry your fuel, your tools, your jack, your canopy, whatever you need to work on that car, to be in that car, has to be in that car and travel with that car. It can't be put in someone's back of their pickup and followed you or on their trailer. So you've got to bring it or buy it.
So basically, you're doing an average of an ET at all these different tracks, correct?
Yep. So we were in the 12-0 class, and which is the biggest and most competitive class by far. There was over 50 cars that entered at the beginning of the week, and a bunch of them didn't make it. But you need to run as close as you can to 12.000 at every single track. At Kearney, Nebraska, we did great. We came off the trailer 12.003, and it was a one hit and done. It was like, okay, that put us in first place. And then by the end of the night, 11 o'clock, the air dropped a little bit, and the guy beat us by 1,000th. And then you have to, the next day, so on Sunday was a drive day. So we had to drive from Kearney, Nebraska, all the way to Denver, Colorado.
I bet that was a fun
drive.
And
they take you. It's a pretty cool drive. The whole time they make you follow a specific route, and there's checkpoints at every so far, and you got to take a picture with your car at the checkpoint to prove you went that way. And the whole way, there's people sitting on the side of the highway waiting for you to go by and waving and taking pictures, and people giving out free water. And there was a Napa in Colorado, I think Sterling, Colorado, that was giving away free hot dogs and burgers and stuff to people that were on the way. So it gets a lot of community involvement. Like every little town that you would go through, then people knew about it, and they were just sitting along the streets watching all the race cars all day. So it was pretty cool to see everybody enjoying it, and all the kids. The kids really love the Mel Hambelton car because it looks like a big Hot Wheels car. Yeah. So that definitely caught a lot of attention.
We had a lot of people posting too that they saw you and different stuff, and took pictures with it and sent it to us and everything else too. So that car it's a fun car to play with. And of course, that's its sweet spots, that 12-second car. I mean, that's about where it runs all the time. So that was perfect class for the car. So you went to Denver, and I heard you had a little bit of trouble in Denver because the great air that Denver has, right?
Yeah, so you got elevation that hurts you in drag racing, being on the side of a mountain, and then the corrected DA is the worst number to look at. And on average, it's usually like 82 to 8,800, I believe, in Denver. We were seeing numbers at 9,000, 9,900 and above for most part of the day while we were there.
The higher the number, the thinner the air, right?
Yep. And the harder it is to get cars to make power, especially a car that has, like the yellow car, it's an NA car, doesn't have any type of power adder, no nitrous, no nothing. So there's not a lot you can do. You can try to cheat weight some way, pull something out, or you can try to wait until the air falls at the end of the night, right before the track closes, which is what we end up doing. But yeah, it's a struggle, and it's a struggle for everybody in every class. Even if you're a turbo car or nitrous car, you're going to have to figure ways to clean the tune-up up, or add more timing, or add more air, and that's what makes the whole experience,
yeah. So we ended
more
up
competitive and easier.
You end up running a 12.3 there, right?
Yep, 12.39, I believe.
12.39. Okay, so off to done at Denver. Where'd you head next?
So then they sent us to Pueblo.
Okay,
and that was an awesome drive up. The route they took us, it was about 2.5, 3 hours.
Okay. Yep.
Through a bunch of little towns and up around the mountains and stuff and down. It was an awesome drive. And then once we hit Pueblo, it was a scorcher. It was hot, and the DA was really horrible there too. Surprisingly, we were at the elevation was only 100 foot off from Kearney, but the DA was carrying the same DA as it was in Denver.
Oh.
So we struggled a little bit there too.
Okay, so when'd you run at Pueblo?
Ended up getting it at the bottom 1230s again. Waited till about 11 o'clock at night till the air just kind of dropped off, and it went real cool temperatures, and was able to pull out a 12.3 again.
Okay, so
and then since, unfortunately,
yeah. So now, what place are you in out of the 50 cars at this point, or do you even have an idea where you're at yet?
So at that point, I think we were sitting in 15th, and we were really hoping the second day in Pueblo, the weather was going to look better. We were going to be able to pull it back a little bit, but the weather got, unfortunately, even worse.
Okay. All right. So after Pueblo, where'd you head next?
So since Great Bend closed this year, the Great Bend was supposed to be one of the spots. We had to do 2 days in Pueblo, so they gave us a day that we had to drive up in the mountains and go and see this Bishop's Castle, which we posted pictures, and there's going to be a lot of cool video BCC is going to have.
Okay.
So hopefully we'll have a YouTube video out pretty soon. But real cool drive up through the mountains and around, and a bunch of little mountain towns, and then back to Pueblo again to try for one more day to get an average of numbers again.
Yeah, and so still the first day was better than the second day, or?
Yeah, we tied about the same number. We just again had to wait till almost they were closing the track, and the temperature had finally fall. The DA kind of crashed with the temperature a little bit, and we were able to pull back another 12.3.
Yeah.
And then we had the next day to go make the long drive back to Kearney, Nebraska again.
Okay, so back another 3 hours back to there. So how'd everything happen?
Yeah,
at Kearney
that drive.
Then? Yeah.
So that drive almost takes 10 hours. The way they bring us back.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah. They don't take you no direct route. It's back old scenic highways and byways and stuff. And then we stopped in Oakley, Kansas at the Buffalo Bill Museum or whatever, and had to take pictures there. And we had quite a few guys that were broke down along the way that we stopped and tried to help. But yeah, that took
10 hours.
Took a long drive.
That's a lot of seat time there. The yellow car got some miles on it's what you're saying, huh?
It did. And a lot of it wasn't even just the miles. It was just they were taking you roads that were, 50, 55 mile an hour. And then you get behind some of these race cars that, highway gearing, that's all they got, 55. And you get a line of 50 or 60 race cars in a row. You can't just go passing them all, So you're just kind of in the line, having fun, seeing the views, So that slows everything way down.
Yeah, exactly. So, okay, so back to 10 hours to Kearney, and so this is your last stop, right?
Yep, Kearney was the last stop, and realistically, on the last day, all you were supposed to do is pull up to the line and break the beams, because your average was set at the final day in Pueblo. But if you didn't make it back to Kearney, then you didn't place. You didn't, you were dropped back off the bottom of the list. Yep. So they were going to do a big bracket race and a big heads-up race to follow to finish that out. But the rain kept coming, and I seen that they did go ahead and finish some of the racing about 1 o'clock this morning. But with the rain the way it was looking, most everybody had already left out, and we kind of left out too.
Well, yeah, I get it.
But I did check this morning, so we were setting in 18th, I believe. That, like I said, the 12.0 class was super competitive, but the first 3 guys were running an average of like a 12 teen the entire way. So they were really, really right there tight. There's a couple guys that went like 12,003, 12,001, 12,006. So they were pulling some really good numbers.
Well, what
but
kind?
when
You
I
remember what
checked
kind
it
of cars
just
they were?
now,
Remember what kind of cars they were or anything?
there was a little bit of everything. There was a couple supercharged Mustangs, pretty much just like our car, but supercharged. A lot of turbo cars, and then a lot of guys were running, an NA car, but they would use nitrous when they got to like Pueblo or Denver to offset that number. But this morning when I looked at it just a minute ago, it looks like we went from 19th to about 8th.
Really?
Because there was a bunch of guys in front of us that did not make the
Didn't
drive, and they
finish.
have an X by their name, so and they didn't finish yet. So they should make a post probably today or Monday showing officially that. But it looks like on the list of check-ins, there was a bunch of people above us that did not make the final drive. So whether they broke down or not, but man, there's a lot of people that broke down, a lot of people that were doing engine swaps at the tracks. There was engine swaps on the side of the road. Oh yeah, I got some real cool video and pictures.
Well, how'd that work? They carry an engine. They carry an engine in their car.
You can buy one as long as you pay for it. Then you're okay. So they blew up, and then they limped the car to the track or to the hotel. There was guys working and pulling transmissions in hotel parking lots and stuff too.
That's some dedication there, boys.
Talk about
EF,
so
E for effort. Yeah.
Yep. There was quite a few guys changing motors and stuff that broke, and the guy that was winning the unlimited class, the big class that we sponsored, the fast guys, the final day in Pueblo, he blew his motor up and had to put a junkyard motor in it just to try to idle it from Pueblo back to Kearney so he can hold his position.
Well, yeah, I guess so. Well, I guess the next thing is, I mean, is this pay a lot of money, or is this just strictly a
bragging rights
kind of a deal?
It's some of it's pretty good. So like the heads up unlimited class is like $7,500 to win. I mean, there's pretty good money at like Hot Rod Drag Week. There is no money. You win a jacket, and that's kind of the popularity of it started falling when Rocky Mountain Race Week came out, and there was some decent payouts and tons of prizes. So like the whole trip, they do different prizes for, like, if you're a chick racing, they did Wicked Chick class, and the chick with the fastest ET won $100 every day, or fastest reaction time. And so they do lots of prizes and stuff throughout the whole week for different people. If you were what they call the young gun, like if you were a younger kid doing it, if you were a rookie, your first time, doing it, and you made certain points or checkpoints, they would vouch you as rookie of the day, and they'd give you some money. And so there was a lot of prizes and stuff that go along the way. None of it's like huge numbers, but it's definitely worth it.
Well, that's cool. And I know we're going to have a lot of great video, because I know you guys took a bunch of GoPros with you. We'll, of course, our hours, we haven't even talked about that yet, Josh. So next week we'll get Big Corner Creative and get them getting the videos up. So you have to stay tuned to our Facebook page and YouTube page of all the great video you guys got and everything else of the deal. So that's pretty cool. We got 8th from that part. So as I was headed to Salina last night or yesterday afternoon, I saw the van coming back. I don't know. I must have missed you in the Mustang coming back or something. I don't know if you were ahead of the van or behind the van or where you were at, but
we were behind it a little ways. Yeah, he took off, and we stayed around and for a little bit, as long as we could, to help out somebody else, and then we got on the road.
I got you. That's why I saw the van about Mountain Ridge is where I seen him coming back, and I kept watching for you, but I never did see you. So he must have been quite a ways behind him or whatever from that part. So anyway, cool week. Can't wait to sit down with you and all the guys that went and recap the week and what we can do better for next year, and what we can do more things for next year and all that kind of stuff too. From that part, pretty cool. The old yellow Mustang making some more history out there. We're probably ready to retire that thing, but I guess maybe not. So we'll have to make sure the 21 Mustang's ready to go for next year and all dialed in and stuff. We just didn't quite get everything dialed in with the new motor that's in it. So hopefully the guy can get the tune all dialed in this next week and stuff. We can have some fun with that next year. Of course, we got to get some more fun going on this year. It's just time to go get that car
it's
out.
Time to be on the track.
Of course, we got to find us a driver for it,
Oh boy. Yep.
Oh boy. That's true. So yeah, I can't wait to see the videos. Can't wait to see how Big Corner Creative puts that out there. Everything you guys did this week. So Nick, once again, thanks for going out there and representing us very well. And congratulations on the 8th place. That's pretty cool for the old yellow car. We got to do something for the 8th place on that deal. That's for sure.
Yep.
So, well, okay, buddy. Thanks for the update. Thanks for taking the week and going out there and having a little fun. But I know it's pretty tiring, but I also bet it was pretty damn fun too.
Oh yeah, it's one of those deals, and they said it in the drivers' meeting. You know, by the end of when you get done with race week, you're gonna hate it, and then the next day you're gonna think about all the fun you had, all the cool people you met, and then you're gonna love it and can't wait to come back. He said it's the weirdest addiction you'll ever have in drag racing. I tend to agree.
Yeah. Well, very cool, Nick. Thanks for the update, and have a great holiday weekend, buddy.
Yep, you guys too.
All right, man. Talk to you soon. Anyway, that's the thing, Josh. We haven't really talked about. I don't know if Jason's still holding on there, but we had to get Nick all updated and everything else there. Delbert all took off to go play with his grandson. Have fun with that, Delbert. And yeah, Rex, pretty down and out about Great Bend. Hopefully they can get that track figured back out and get it refixed and get it opened back up on that part too. So from that part, but we'll see if Jason's still hanging in there or not. But anyway, our holiday hours, everybody, just so you know that today we're open for normal hours, everything else like that. But then we are closed every Sunday, of course. But we're closed Monday and Tuesday here at Mel Hambelton Ford. It's going to be great to have I don't want to do it on 3 days, Josh.
Crazy. Yeah, crazy.
Have a good 3-day weekend. Some of our guys are getting 4-day weekends and stuff. And I know a lot of people are, and everything else too. I had one guy make a negative post out there about us being closed and everything else too. But you know what? This is not about us, about the customer. This is about our employees. This is great for employees to get this time off. We work very, very hard here. We put a lot of hours in and everything else like that. So this time and taking Monday off is an extra day, and it's about our employees. We're here to take care of them and have a great work environment and a great attitude and everything else on that part. But that's why we're doing what we're doing, is to take care of our employees. So it's going to be fun to have a 3-day weekend. That's for sure.
Yeah.
So,
I know a lot of guys were looking forward to it as well. And, you know, they, the week leading up to this, or this week, it was extremely busy. Everybody knowing that, you know, we needed to kind of stick to the grindstone to make sure that we're able to get everybody taken care of. And then next week, coming back on Wednesday, it'll be the same thing. These guys are going to hoof it. That's for sure. So.
Yep, exactly. So anyway, Jason must have hung up, I'm sure, because we waited too long there.
Yeah, apologize about that, Jason.
Yeah, Jason, sorry, but we needed to get Nick on the phone there and talk about everything that went on Rocky Mountain Race Week, and can't wait to recap with those guys and everything else too. But the old yellow car making some more history. That's pretty cool. Pretty cool. The old burnout king is what he is. But,
I will say that car is consistent. It's going to go down the track almost the same time every time, and then it's going to do the best burnout ever. So,
yeah.
And that's about all the miles on that track. It's either one or the other, or all the miles on that car. It's either one or the other. That's for sure.
We need to, if there's a way to record it up and see how much of that time that it's running that it was wide open.
Oh,
versus
yeah.
But it is a cool burnout car. I don't know what it is about that thing, but it can do a burnout like second to none. And
yeah, mapping out the throttle position sensor in that car, I'm not sure it'd be the funnest thing ever, because it's either on or off.
Yeah.
That's all you get.
Yeah. So anyway, Josh, what else we got on the plate today? Talked about our holiday hours and stuff. I hope everybody has a great and safe and happy 4th. Blow a lot of fireworks up and celebrate and have fun.
Be careful. Be safe.
Be safe. Exactly.
The other thing is just recognize the holiday, you know, the independents and veterans and stuff like that, for sure.
Exactly. So you got any big plans for the 3 days?
You know, I'm going to get through today, and then we'll start making plans after that. I just, it snuck up on me, I guess, from that side. So let's go to the phones. I'm not sure. Let's, Jason.
Hey, good morning, guys. How are you?
Good morning. Sorry about the wait there, bud.
Oh, you're fine. Happy 4th of July.
Yeah,
you
same
too.
to you. You're live with
Hey,
Under the
got
Hood.
a
What's
quick
going
question.
on?
Yeah.
So I have a 2015 Ford F-150. I brought it in there a couple months ago. They replaced the head gasket, oil pan, and oil pan gasket. And now when you start it up, white smoke will come out from the tailpipe, and it'll probably last about 30 seconds and then dissipate. But it does it every time you start the truck up. Is that normal, or is that something that probably needs to be looked at?
Yeah, so there is some white smoke is normal. What year was that again? One more time.
2015.
Yeah. Do you know what motor is in it? Is it the 3.5, the EcoBoost, or is it Is it the 5 liter?
I think it's got the 3.5. Yeah, it's got the 3.5 EcoBoost.
Yeah. So some white smoke is normal for that. They have an oil consumption spec out there, and I think it's I'd have to relook it up, but I think it's like a quart or a quart and a quarter in like 1,000 miles for oil consumption on that thing. It depends on the time of the year too. It may be worse than others, but yeah, some white smoke on that is normal at startup.
Okay.
The main thing is that it goes
That's
away.
Okay.
After it's been running for a little while. So, but we'd be more than happy to.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, be more than happy to retake a look at it just to make sure everything's good. I would just advise, checking the oil, making sure, that we're checking the oil at different intervals. Maybe 500 miles, 1,000 miles, and just
How
make
many miles
sure
are on the truck?
It's got 120.
120.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and then the other thing would be looking at GDI service on it as well. Would be something that would help that truck.
How long has it been doing it, and when did it start?
It's been in it for quite some time.
Okay, let me
So
ask you
I
another
just
question.
didn't, and then
Was it doing it before the head gasket or after the head gasket stuff?
it was doing it before too.
It was doing it before too. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think maybe what we need to do is try a GDI oil service the next. How soon are you due for your next service?
I'm about 3,000 miles out.
Okay. So whenever you get ready, we need to talk about that and do a GDI oil service to it and see what that does. It might that might take care of it. And again, it might not.
Yeah, the biggest thing is, like I said, just monitoring that oil and making sure that we're not using an excessive amount of oil. But like I said, some white smoke for those is normal conditions.
Well, it'd be interesting. Just do a little test here, Jason. I'd love to, let's throw it. Part of your package, we'll change it into a GDI package, and I would love to get that thing in here quick and go ahead and do a GDI service, and then let's see what that does and see if it changes anything or not or whatever, and be a little test battery for us. Now, Mike Sheridan jumps in here and says, might check the coolant levels too, but let's let us do all that checking and stuff for you too. So after we get done with the show here, Jason, we'll call you and we'll set a time up. We'll get it in. Let's do a GDI on it, and let's see what that does to the truck and see if that helps.
Hey, I appreciate it, guys.
All right. Sounds good, buddy. We'll be in touch. Okay.
Thanks for the call.
All right, you guys have a safe 4th.
Hey, you too, buddy. Okay, we got a couple more callers coming up, so we'll get Mr. Wilson on next, and then we got Grant Murray next. So, Grant, hang tight when we get Mr. Wilson on the phone here, and we'll see what's on their questions and stuff too. So, be interesting to do that GDI oil service, Josh, and see what happens to that truck and everything else too. And like Mike Sheridan said too, maybe there is some coolant or something in that's given a little bit of an issue too. Not sure, but we'll see here once we do. And I guess we also what GDI is. That's a chemical from BG products that we use. But basically, you pour it in the oil before you change it. And basically, what it's doing is it's going on the back side of the rings and the cylinders and everything, and cleaning everything up to get these rings to move a little more freer, because carbon will build up on the back of the rings and make them not move to where they can't seal in the cylinders, and that's where that oil's blowing by. From that part. So when you put that GDI service in there, it cleans that thing up really well, and from that part. So it'll be interesting to see just how much it does change, or maybe it doesn't change at all, but it's still a good test to kind of see what is happening there from that part. So still can't get Mr. Wilson passed through, huh?
We're working on it.
Working on it. So we'll get him patched through here shortly and see what's on his mind. I keep wanting to talk some more, but I know as soon as I start a sentence,
something else, it's going to fall through, right? So how about you? Are you racing tonight?
We are not racing tonight.
What the heck?
I know. And we looked everywhere where to go race and stuff, and Jake found Waukene, and I'm not really wanting to drive all the way to Waukene and drive home tonight.
What? That's
about 4 hours, something like that. I'm not
three and a half
too keen on that and everything else. I told him, I said, you know what, let's enjoy the weekend. We've been running pretty hard.
Yeah.
With everything else we've been doing. And I was wrong. It's 3 hours.
Yeah, that's what. Yeah, I thought it was.
So I
3
get home at
hours.
4 a.m. Really not interested on that kind of a situation. You know what I'm saying?
So it's just haze and then a little more.
Just a little more. And that's, let me tell you, that drive from Salina to Hayes is miserable.
Yeah.
But coming home's not too bad because the wind's not blowing everything else too. So let's try to get Mr. Wilson hung up. Let's try to get number 4 coming through here from that part. But yeah, we went up to Salina last night and got rained out after the heat race. So we will be running double features next Friday night, which is always a blast. Always a blast to set a car up for 2 features and stuff too. So be a fun next Friday night, that's for sure, at Salina Speedway. So if you need some fun and exciting things, you need to come and check out Salina Speedway tomorrow on next Friday night. So,
and then again, just reiterating on the parts, the MH Racing is open. We're going to be open today for normal hours as well, but then we'll be closed on on Monday and Tuesday as well for the observation of the 4th of July. So
yeah. So okay. So let's see if we can get Mr. Who's up next is Grant. Let's see if we can get Grant moved in here real quick. And I don't know if Mr. Wilson just got tired of waiting, or maybe he got disconnected or something. Who knows? He might be on a cell phone and just got in a bad area or something too. So if Mr. Wilson, if you're still listening or whatever, give us a call back so we can get you on the air and get your question answered for you from that part. So anyway, I guess we're not going to get phone calls. I don't know if maybe something happened on the reception side or whatever. But anyway, we'll see if we can get these patched through here, Josh. If we don't, then we're just going to have to call the show a quits for today if we can't get these calls through, because I don't know what else to talk about. We've talked about our hours, talked about everything. We talked about Rocky Mountain Race Week with Nick and all the fun stuff those guys had there. But
yeah, I can just give these guys a call. Give these guys a call back here after the show and see what they have going on and get them helped out.
So anyway, real quick, we have got to thank our sponsor, of course, which is BG Products, which we're going to see. Okay, hold on. I think maybe we're getting Mr. Wilson sent through here. And see if we can get his call patched through here real quick. And dead time. Waiting on Mr. Wilson to come through. I know as soon as I said, anyway, let's thank our sponsors. We're waiting on that. BG Products, all the great preventative maintenance products we use right inside here at Mel Hambelton Ford. And of course, we're going to find out on Jason's truck how great that works with his GDI service. We're going to perform and everything else too, but can't thank those guys enough for the great partnership and everything we have with them. And from that part, and we got some exciting stuff, Josh, coming down the pike with them.
We do.
Can't disclose everything we got, but we're going to have a fun time in August here with BG Products, and we'll let you know all the details of that coming up here in the near future, what we're going to have from that. And it's going to be the Wednesday before the big NHRA race in Topeka. So if that gives you any kind of hint, kind of what we're thinking about doing and everything else too. So we'll keep you posted on that part. Big Corner Creative, who's going to do that great video for us of all the footage the guys did at Rocky Mountain Race Week. And of course, you're looking for anything to help advertise your business, from Google advertising, a web page, traditional media with radio, TV, whatever it might be, window wrap, race car wraps, window wrap, window tint, anything to help advertise your business. Big Corner Creative, if those guys say, just Google us. And go to rent right inside Mel Hambelton Ford. We have a great fleet of rental vehicles, and I finally have got stands staffed back up with enough vehicles and everything else too. But I will tell you, Josh, we rented out every stinking 15-passenger van for the holiday.
Yep, we did.
So hope a lot of people are enjoying those vans and everything else too from that part. And I'm not sure what's happening while we can't get these calls through. We'll have to check it out. So anyway, everybody, sorry that we can't. Okay, let's hold on.
Yes.
Let's see. So we'll see if we can get so much what I thought got disconnected. So hopefully here real quick, we'll get this call patched through and we'll go find out from reception.
Hello. Hey, you're
Hello.
live with Under the Hood. Who are we speaking with?
Oh, this is Mr. Wilson.
Well, hello, Mr. Wilson. Apologize about the delay there, but thanks for being patient and getting patched through. But you're live with Under the Hood.
Awesome. Thank you, Mr. Josh and Mr. Phil. Yeah, so the 2003 F-150. It's the truck my wife drives, and I made the mistake of messing with the climate controls. And the next time she went to drive it, everything's coming out on the defrost. And of course, it was the hottest days of the year. And unfortunately, I was in trouble because I was the last one that touched it.
Yeah, I bet you were in trouble because I know I'd have been in trouble from that part.
So, and then a couple of days later, she mostly just drives short trips, but a couple of days later, the check engine light comes on. And now it seems to be that the air is coming out the vents again, but nobody's messing with the controls for fear of having it just go back to the defrost.
Okay, so that's what happened. You actually moved the controls, and then it got stuck in defrost. Is that what you're saying?
Well, I moved the controls, and it was coming out the vents just fine.
Mm-hmm.
She went to drive it the next time, and no one changed the controls, and it started coming out the defrost.
Yeah, what year is that again? It was a 3, you said, 2003?
Yes.
Yeah. So those are vacuum actuated actuators, and I'm guessing that there's a vacuum leak somewhere in that system. Typically, you see it at the control head, or I guess at the actuator itself. But essentially, it uses vacuum in order to open and shut the doors, the mode doors and blend doors on that system. But I'm going to say that we'll probably find out that there's a vacuum leak in that system somewhere. But what we can do, we'll throw a diagnostic onto your package and take a peek at it and see exactly what's causing it. You know, this time of year when it gets to be 100 degrees out, air temperature is important, but airflow is extremely important as well, making sure that it's in the right spot, because you can have really cold AC, but if it's blowing up on the dash, it really
It's not much fun.
doesn't do you a whole lot of good. So
Yeah. No, that was you're sort of reaching your hand up there to the defrost, trying to cool off.
and if you were the last one to touch it, then you're to blame. So that's
Well, I didn't know if I had the right show, if this was marriage counseling.
Well, sometimes it is.
Yeah, I don't think you want advice from either one of us on that. So,
oh, that's too funny.
Well, I do appreciate it.
So
I do have another issue that on the Focus RS that Scotty and Cole are looking at, but I just thought I'd mention it on the show. That car has adaptive headlights, and over a period of time, the right headlight was going out intermittently, and I figured out that I could recreate it if I was making a left turn in the neighborhood, because those adaptive headlights, you have to be moving a certain speed in order for them to
move,
react
yeah.
to the steering. And I'm still trying to come up with some more symptoms, because right now it only happens, or I haven't been able to duplicate it with the lights on the switch, because I usually leave the switch on auto. So tonight I'm going to be out after dark, and I'm going to try to see if I can replicate it with the lights in the auto position, the light switch in the auto position, or the light switch in the manual on, to see if something's going on there.
Makes a
but
difference.
It's really weird. Yeah, because if the left turn is sharp enough, like some of the on and off ramps on the turnpike, I've noticed that the light goes out, but I can turn the switch all the way up to off and back on, and by then I'm going straight again, and the light comes back on.
Yeah.
So I don't know if there's a way to, when I'm going through the corner, to leave the steering wheel cranked where it's at, and then turn the switch off and back on and see if it would come on there. I still have to mess with it some more. But I got Scotty and Cole looking at it, and we're sort of baffled, as to what can be causing it, unless there's some wiring internal to that right headlamp.
One of the things, we should be able to replicate that on a lift and driving it on a lift, I would think. So I'll have to visit with those two gentlemen and see what, because like you said, by the time you mess with the switch in a turn, you're got to turn it back straight again. So
Right. Yeah, I didn't know if I could replicate that on the lift or not, with the front wheel all-wheel drive car or not.
Yeah, we'll have to look at the description and operation of that system and see what all criteria has to be met in order to make those operate. But a lot of times we'll try to replicate those, in a different environment or different situation that is obviously more conducive or safer to be trying to diagnose. So yeah, we can take a look at that description and operation.
Swerving all over the
road. I've been in situations before checking out wheel bearings and kind of
I've done that sometimes. I'm getting pulled over and think I'm drunk or something,
moving the car from side to side, and I'm sure an officer is not going to think of it from the mechanical side of things, more
really, sir. I was really checking the wheel bearing,
more the safety side of things. So
step out of the car.
Step out of the car, hands behind your back,
but
blowing this.
So yeah, I'll visit with those two, and we'll take a look at the description operation and see what we can come up with there. But let's get that F-150 in and get your wife on the better side on the better graces side of things. So
God bless you.
Very good.
Thank you very much.
So, hey, thanks for the call, buddy.
Happy Independence Day.
Hey, you too.
Same to you. All right.
Okay, we got one more caller hanging on here. Let's see what we got coming in from
still have
Grant. Grant's been waiting quite a while there. Grant, sorry about that. So hang tight, buddy, and we'll be getting you fixed up here. Grant, you're live with Under the Hoods. Thanks for the waiting, and what's on your mind, buddy?
Hi, I was wondering about the new Mavericks that are coming out, and when the what is it called? When the order banks will be opened up.
Well, you kind of called at the right time, because we just had a phone call with Ford yesterday, talking about production, what's going to happen, and everything else too from that standpoint. And this truck is a great little truck. It's amazing to me and everything else like that. And I've been so excited about this truck. The demand of this truck is crazy. We are ending up, it looks like we're going to have about 30 some trucks that we have orders for 23s that are going to get pushed into 24s. And the number they're giving us for 24s is not a very big number, which is disappointing at one point. And the other thing that's really disappointing in my situation too is they're only going to build 35% of the production is going to be hybrid. 65% is going to be the 2.0 gas. I was hoping it was going to get flipped the other way around, but they're trying to tell us that they're still having troubles getting everything they need to build the hybrids and everything else too. And I know that's what everybody wants. And I'm going to tell you, the 30 some trucks that I have that are going to get moved to 24s, they're all hybrids. None of them are the gas motor trucks from that part. So the order banks are going to open up somewhere in the mid-July is what they're telling us. Of course, every time they tell us, those dates get moved around a little bit, whatever. I know what date they said to me, but I'm going to say mid-July, because it's never been the exact date they say, or it's been late in the day or whatever from that standpoint. So mid-July, the order bank's going to open up, and we'll see what we can do there too. And from that part. So that's kind of the questions. Any other questions you have on the Maverick or anything?
No, that was really it. I've been looking at the Mavericks a little bit, but I was really wanting the hybrids. So
Yeah, I know. So hang tight around mid-July, and do you have a salesperson you're working with here yet?
do what?
Do you have a salesperson you're working with here, Grant?
No, not yet.
Okay. Well, we've got your number and stuff. I will see if I can do to get somebody to call you so that way when it's time to get in the order bank or whatever, we can get you in here and get you fixed up. Okay.
All right, awesome. Thank you very much.
Thank you, buddy. Thanks for the call.
Yep.
Okay, Josh. I think we finally got everybody through.
Yeah, I do believe so.
So everybody, thanks for the calls. Thanks for everybody listening and watching. But most importantly, our hours, we're closed. Of course, Sunday. We're here all day today like we're normal hours. But then Monday, Tuesday, we are closed. We'll be back in regular hours on Wednesday. So thanks, Lisa, for letting us have this time off. But like I said, we had that one gentleman make a negative comment on Facebook. But you know what? This is about our employees. We're here to take care of our employees, and everybody needs that extra time. We've worked so hard so far. This whole half a year is gone already, Josh.
That is crazy. Absolutely crazy.
From that part. So everybody, happy 4th of July. Celebrate. Be safe. I don't know about you, Josh, but I'm going to blow a lot of firecrackers and stuff up too. So everybody, but be safe and everything else from that part. Hey, everybody, we'll talk to you next Saturday. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Thanks for all the great calls. And everybody, happy 4th of July. We'll talk to you next Saturday.